Good afternoon, all. Welcome to the Saturday preview with me, Dave Massey. Coming to you at 4:15, just after, on Friday afternoon, with an update on Saturday's racing, which sadly, again, as it was last week, has been rather decimated by the weather. Sandown is waterlogged. That's the main meeting gone up the spout. And it leaves us with Ayr and Hereford and Wolverhampton. Now, of those three meetings, I don't think I've had a better Ayr all season. It's not a track I particularly look at when it's on. I tend to leave it be. So I shan't be putting anything up for Ayr tomorrow. Wolverhampton and Hereford are a bit more interesting, and we'll look at one or two of the races there. Plan for next week. Obviously, we've got Cheltenham next week. I'll be going down there for all 4 days. I'm going to be busy. I think what I'll be doing when you've sort of got a fair indication from daily punt missives over the last sort of 3 weeks of where I'm looking at with selections, particularly for the handicaps and one or two of the bigger races. So I'll fill the gaps in next week with the rest. It will be Tuesday and Wednesday, probably written. Thursday, Friday, probably videos. And then Saturday might just be selections only, because I've got to... Obviously, it's going to be a long day Friday. I'm going to be travelling back from Cheltenham late on. I won't have a lot of time to look at stuff. It may just be I put a couple up for the Midlands Grand National, and that might be it, really. But we'll see how it goes. If I get time on Friday, then I might be able to record something. But don't be holding your breath. Say last week, 3 selections. 2 of them didn't run, and Cat Poli ran all right. Cat Poli. Second, just found one too good. No damage. Had a little bit each way. And I think there are more races to be won with Cat Poli. Hereford, it's not on terrestrial TV, it's on Sky Sports Racing tomorrow, Hereford. But it's probably the most interesting card to me. The first race that was sort of looking at was the 255. This is a handicap hurdle over just shy of 3 miles. It's 3 miles, 1.5 furlongs. In that ground, it will feel like further tomorrow. I think they're probably going to make Buster Edwards or Oscar Ashe favourite for the race. Buster Edwards is a real proper staying sort. He can race a little bit on and off the bridle sometimes, and when he won at Haydock, he was going absolutely nowhere before he came with a rattle. Then he was third at Warwick last time. It's decent enough form, but I just wonder how much more there is to come off of that mark from Buster Edwards. Oscar Ashe, the other end of the scale, really is just unexposed. Winner 2 starts back at Ludlow, and then ran okay back there last time. It wasn't as good, but it was an okay run. Slight question mark over heavy ground for me, Oscar Ashe. Less so about Buster Edwards. But I thought the interesting pair in the race at the prices that are predicted, that not up yet, but the prices that are predicted are probably the bottom 2, Master Sam Bellamy and Royal Claret. Master Sam Bellamy's now goes handicapping after 3 runs in maiden hurdles, and is shaped all right, really, on all 3 starts. But everything about him makes him look like a proper stayer. So I think this test, he ran over 3 miles at Ludlow last time behind Southfield Harvest, and just sort of, you could see him sort of staying on late in the day to finish within hailing distance of the winner. Got beat about 20 lengths. Mark of 110. It's not exactly a throw-in, but it's the fact, I think, that conditions will suit him tomorrow. He's going up another furlong and a half, which will suit, and I don't think heavy ground will be a burden on him at all. So I think he's quite interesting. And similarly, the bottom one, Royal Claret, Tom Simons, she's looking on a nice mark here. 104 is, she started the season on 116, so she's £12 lower than that now. She's been chasing for much of the season, and she's just not really taken to it. She's made mistakes, too many mistakes, really. There's been the odd occasion, particularly at Newcastle, when I thought she might make the Great Labour fences, but she's just struggled with it, really. Didn't pull any trees up at Ludlow in January, but then last time at Carlisle it was a lot better. Got beaten 8 lengths by Jobs on Fire, who I think's won again since. I could be wrong about that, but I know I'm thinking at the time that was a better run. Put the cheek pieces back on Royal Claret last time, and the cheek pieces are on again here, which I think is an aid to her rather than a negative. If she can repeat that run from a £2 higher mark, I think she's got a chance, and she is, as I say, well handicapped. She'll have not a great deal of weight to carry here. 10-11 in this ground will be a bonus. I think one of those two. She is a course and distance winner if you go back a couple of seasons as well, so conditions are absolutely fine for her. I think one of those two is. I'll end up betting at least one at the prices, and maybe even splitting my bet and having 2 win bets in the race if the front two are a bit too short. The next race, the 3:30, 2 mile 5 novices handicap chase. I ended up sort of putting the pen through a few of these for varying reasons. Go Steady is going to be made favourite, the bottom one. Jumped really well when he won at Warwick last time. That was over 2.5 in heavy ground, so I don't think conditions are going to be a problem, but that was a 0 to 105. This is a better race. It's a 0 to 120. He didn't actually improve that much to win at Warwick, but the handicap price put him up another 5. So I think if he's too short, Go Steady, I think you can take him on. And the one I want to try and take him on with is Delight of Dubai. Paddy Brennan riding this for Noel Williams. It'll be interesting to see what Paddy says in his weekend column as to what sort of a chance he thinks he's got on Delight of Dubai, who won a point-to-point in heavy ground at Bandon last year, and then won again in heavy ground, first time for the yard at Lingfield over hurdles, so clearly can't have it deep enough. Then on good to soft ground at Kempton, got outspeeded by the classy San Xavier. You did sort of expect that. But then ran last week over hurdles at Ludlow. And she ran all right. She finished within 8 lengths of the winner, although the fact that she was 5th of the 8 runners. There were sort of 5 went clear and she was 5th of them. And she improved on what she'd done previously. I like the fact that 9 days later they're coming out with her over fences. It would suggest that she scored well, and that there was a plan. And it's that sort of angle I quite like. The fact that the ground is as heavy as you like for her. She's from a family that win races, including a couple of chasers in the family. They've won. So I like that. It's the fact that she's coming out again as quickly as she's doing after running well and improving at Ludlow. That's the key to me here. I can see her going all right tomorrow if she jumps, and the fact that she's already won a point on heavy ground, as I say, would sort of suggest that she's going to be all right over fences. So I like a chance tomorrow, and the fact that she's got a bit of stamina to her won't be any bad thing over 2 mile 5 in heavy ground. The 4:05 handicap chase over 2 mile. One I like in here as well, actually. There are, again, 1 or 2 that are on sort of recovery missions from bad runs. Storm Control. They try a change of headgear for Storm Control now. Stopped very quickly at Warwick last time. Hollywoodian as unseated and then pulled up at Wetherby in a couple of starts. Baby King I've never really thought of as a heavy ground horse, soft heavy ground horse. I think he's a spring horse that's better on decent ground. Which leaves you with Sandown. Now, I really like Sandown here. First of all, proven over course and distance in heavy ground, having finished 2 3/4 lengths second to Billingsley last time out. That was back in December. It's had a break since then, and you look at that form. Billingsley's come out, the winner Billingsley's come out and won twice since off higher marks. The third home that day was Ariane, and I was looking for a decent run from Ariane today at Foss last, and we would have got one. In fact, Ariane would have won had he not fallen at the last. Unlucky, very unlucky Ariane. So the fact that Sandown split that pair, and he's only £2 higher, £3 higher, I should say, tomorrow, with a first-time tongue tie on as well, had a bit of a break, proven under conditions. I think Sandown's got a really, really good chance of taking this tomorrow, and I'll be disappointed if this runs badly. I'll grant you he might be a bit tricky to get his head in front, but he's not going to get many better opportunities than this. And I think he's got a terrific chance, Sandown. I would hope anything around the 2-1 mark, because what price can you make him? I think you can't make him any bigger than that, given there are so many question marks about the rest in the race. And anything around 2-1, I think, is a bet, Sandown. And then you got the 440 as well. A maiden hurdle, quite an interesting maiden hurdle. It'd be interesting to see which way the betting goes on this, because you've got Hideaway Vic, who has now been beaten at 5-6, 8-11, 15-8, and 10-11 in 4 of his last 5 starts. They go for the blinkers to try to get Hideaway Vic's head in front tomorrow. It's another golden opportunity, but the bottom one, Some Detail, looks a real proper out-and-out stayer to me. Was second to Fortunate George. Probably a bit unlucky to bump into Fortunate George at Warwick last time. Very well handicapped Fortunate George that day. Handicappers only put him over £1 for that, which I think is very generous. And it matters not anyway, because the weights today aren't particularly relevant. He's back in a maiden hurdle. I would have him win the first time visor, change of headgear tomorrow over Hideaway Vic any day of the week, I think. The other 3 have all got, they've all got bits and pieces going for them, but really it looks a 2-horse race on paper. And again, I think I'll probably be with Some Detail if the prices when they come out later on are right. Just worth having a look at the first race at Wolverhampton tomorrow, which is the Lincoln Trial, for no other reason than when I looked at this race earlier, you've got an absolute pace burn up. Bear with me one second while I get the race up. But the more I looked at this race, the more I think that there's going to be a pace collapse. As I say, it's a Lincoln Trial. It's over 1.5 miles a furlong, and you've got at least 3 front runners in the race when you look at it. You've definitely got Red Bond, who made all at Newcastle last time in a race that was pretty much chock full of hold-up horses. That one slipped through the net for me, Red Bond, last time. I probably should have bet it and didn't. But he leads in all of his races. You've got Casbarn that leads. You've got Arcanada that tends to lead. You've got Smile a Mile that led last time. And you've got Pinata who led all the way last time when he was successful at, I think it was at Chelmsford. But you've got at least 3 or 4 of these then that like to lead. And it's not hard to see something coming from off the pace and taking this. Guessing what? I mean, I get the case for Fox Power. He's around about the sort of 3-1 chance. On form, he ought to reverse form with VS Serendipity last time. But VS Serendipity was nicely on top late. And I know he's £9 worse off tomorrow because now they're into a handicap, not a conditions race. So you'd expect Fox Power to reverse the form. I don't think it's quite that obvious. And if one's 2-1 and one's 10-1, then I think VS Serendipity's got to come into it. The one I liked, I thought, was Nonios here. David Simcock, who at last has found some form. He's had 3 winners in the last couple of weeks. And Nonios last time at Lingfield over their Bear Mile was nicely on top late on, came from off the pace to nick it late. Handicap has been sensible enough with a couple of pound rise for that. And the fact that he gets another 110 yards tomorrow is only a plus, because Nonios really is effectively a 9-10 furlong horse. So the fact that they're going to go lickety-split with this tomorrow, the problem will be that we're going to be ridden for places. We're going to be ridden for luck late. From stall 12, you know what's going to happen. Dylan Hogan is going to bring him across, drop him in, and wait for the gaps to come late. And we're going to need the gaps to come. If it don't, then he's going to be one of these that's going to go down as an unlucky loser. You can see it now. But Hills themselves are offering 4 places on the race, and there's some 14-1 around at the moment as I speak. I think that's fair. If the gaps come, I can see him in the frame at least. And with a bit more luck in running, I think he's got a really good chance of perhaps copping the lot. So I will be backing Nonios each way in that first race at Wolverhampton tomorrow. There we go. Anyway, next time you'll hear from me, then it'll be with a write-up for day 1 of Cheltenham on Tuesday. Can't wait. Let's get down there. Let's get it going. See you all then. Have a good weekend.